Okay, so as we talk about optimizing our diet, one of the concepts I want to introduce you to is the body types or the somatotypes. So there are three main somatotypes. We have ectomorph, mesomorph, and endomorph. I'm going to explain a bit more what those are in just one second. This was actually first developed in the 1940s by a psychologist whose name was William Herbert Sheldon. And according to Wikipedia, it was to categorize the human physique according to the relative contributions of three fundamental elements, which he termed somatotypes. So where it can be helpful for us is that your somatotype can give you kind of an idea of your metabolism and what foods or food combinations will actually be best for your metabolism and help your body respond best in terms of being able to burn the fuel you're giving it and work more efficiently and be more at your ideal body weight. Now, couple of things. First of all, there is no like one magical pill. So this is just one thing to take into consideration. It's one piece of the overall pie, so to speak, right? The other thing is that almost nobody is just one specific somatotype. We're often a combination of, two somatotypes. So there's a quiz you can do and you'll get an idea of your more dominant somatotype. But again, just, use that and your own kind of common sense and what you know about your body in combination with this information to figure out the tweaks that you want to make for yourself. The other thing is that, again, this was made in the 1940s. So we have seen a rise in weight gain and obesity levels since the late 1970s. So I want you, as you're going through this, to, as you're taking the quiz, you can think about your current body, but also thinking about how you were as a child. So if as a child you were just that string bean kid that could, eat whatever you wanted and were super active and just couldn't gain weight, you're probably going to be more naturally leaning towards that ectomorph. If you were more naturally athletic, can easily put on some muscle, did really good in sports and things like that, you're probably going to be more in that mesomorph category. Endomorphs are more people that do tend to carry a little bit of extra weight naturally, can be really great athletes. Athletes can also have a lot of strength, but probably carried a little bit of extra weight as a child. So again, you want to take all that information into consideration when you're taking the quiz to figure out what your somatotype is. Okay, so let me tell you why this can be, I think, just fun. Again, take this with, a lightness to it and use what's useful for you, but don't, get stressed out about this or feel like this is the end all and you have to follow this perfectly, okay? So let me do a quick screen share. So when you go back into the module number 7 here, you'll see this take the body type quiz. This is just from bodybuilding.com, but it's a great little test. It's short, it's only 9 questions, and you'll go through and answer these questions, and then it will tell you what your percentages are of each of the somatotypes. You'll get an idea of sort of your dominant somatotype, and then which one's next and which one you are kind of the least of, but you'll probably be a combination of at least 2, if not some combination of the 3. So that's the first thing you can do. And of course, they've got a great little description here that goes over, again, what each of these means, ectomorph, mesomorph, and endomorph. So you might just by looking at this get a good idea of which one you think you are, and then the quiz can kind of help just confirm that for you. Now, once you have done that, there's an article here at Body Type Eating from Precision Nutrition. We'll link you to this, and this goes into a bit more detail about each of the somatotypes, and what they do a great job of is breaking down the macronutrients in terms of what percentages work best for each somatotype. Now, again, you don't have to get too caught up in the numbers. You don't need to feel like you have to start keeping this really detailed food journal and tracking all this. But for example, let's say that you find out, you tend to be more ectomorph. You're probably going to do better and actually need a little bit more carbohydrates than somebody that's mesomorph or endomorph. That doesn't mean we go and eat donuts, right? But you might do better adding in some brown rice or sweet potatoes or a little bit of extra fruit to your diet, right? A good snack for you might be an apple. Whereas somebody that is on the other side, where they're more of an endomorph, you're going to find that you do better on a higher fat diet and taking out more of the carbohydrates. And so with you, you might switch out that apple for some almonds or something else that's a higher fat, healthy fat kind of snack. So those are the kind of tweaks I'm talking about. Again, you don't have to go into, keeping a really detailed food journal. There is a diet plan called If It Fits My Macros, and there's actually a website for that where you go in, you plug in your information. It gives you very, a detailed printout of what your macros should be based on your body type, and then, different diet plans you can follow. So if you're interested in this, if you're somebody that likes the math and the percentages and wants to pursue this more, you could certainly look into that. But I don't think that is where you have to take it. I think it's just, again, another interesting thing to learn about yourself and understand. And then you can just look to where you might want to make some little tweaks. Or again, if you look at this article here, it will show you how you can put together a meal based on, carbs, fats, and proteins and veggies based on your dominant somatotype. That might be some tweaks that will help you. So I've had some clients that have used this, again, finding out maybe that they're more endomorph and they do better with higher fat, lower carbs, or they realize, oh, I'm more ectomorph, I actually need a little bit more carbs than I was giving myself for my body to function optimally. This is just a great little article, though. If you want to learn more about this, it's, an easy, short read, but it just explains, how this information can be helpful. So as you go into optimizing your diet, again, this is something that you can look at your current diet, what you're eating, and see now, are there some maybe little tweaks you can make based on this information that might help with, speeding up your metabolism, helping your body work efficiently, and, moving more towards your goals. So hope you guys find this interesting, and I'll see you in the next one.